I watched this movie last night called Jane and the Lost City. It's about if a World War II pinup girl was also a World War II secret agent, and she's trying to get the diamonds before the Nazis do, even though her biggest claim to fame is that her dress pops off. Just inopportune moments, just whole dress rips off. This is an actual movie. And it was amazing because every character in it was an absolute stereotype. On some kind of alignment grid with stereotype versus imaginative characters, everyone was chaotic stereotype, however that chart would work. You know, you had the stiff old British colonel, you had the uppity manservant, you had the hunky American, the femme fatale, with the, you know what this is. You had the little sadistic German guy. Oh, it's not fair! I haven't got to kill anyone all week! No twists, no extra dimensions, just they show up, they say a thing, and you know what their deal is for the whole movie. And it got me thinking. You know all those terrible characters your players all the time be making? Cody at Taking 20 did a skit about them last month. I'll put a link in the description. What if those aren't bad characters? What if those characters just don't match your game? See, in this movie, they knew they wanted to have all the things. The jungle, Nazis, lost cities, secret passages, swinging on vines, getting tied up by natives, running from natives with spears, treasure. So they need to have characters who are some of the things. You're starting to see the application. So if you're putting together a campaign that is all the things, tell your players that you need characters who are some of the things. Not the, you know, my parents were murdered and I went to the hard labor orphanage and stopped a bully from picking on the other kids, but it's my darkest secret because I killed the bully. You know, the kind of characters who have all these emotional problems and layers to their psychology. That's a stereotype that you're trying to breathe life into. This is a game where you're not supposed to try that. On the other hand, if you're writing a more serious campaign, you want characters with complex motivations. And you don't like this wacky kobold bard over here tap dancing on the plate mail of fallen enemies to cast his spells. So that's the first part of this video, is understanding that when people write bad characters at your table, they may just be writing mismatched characters. And that comes down to you as the GM to communicate and get everyone on the same page with what kind of story we're trying to tell.
First rule of leadership: everything is your fault.
And the next part of the video is a handful of ways you could do that. Define your campaign in terms of a spectrum. Depending what it is, maybe you use the silly serious spectrum, the Batman Superman spectrum, the Three Doors Down Bob Dylan spectrum, the slow to fast spectrum. Are the characters supposed to be flat or multi-layered? Are the characters supposed to change or stay the same, which is different than flat or multi-layered? Really, it depends on what kind of campaign you're writing, and defining it for your players, going through that exercise and defining what they are isn't going to just help your players, it's going to help you get a better handle on it too. Compare it to a movie. And if you don't want to give spoilers, pick a movie in a different genre that is as serious or as funny as your campaign is going to be in this genre. Or you could pick a very specific subgenre that's familiar to your players. Nihilistic sci-fi comedy, 1960s Arabian Nights swashbuckling. Or if you're looking for something a little more crunchy and quantifiable, you can give your players a number of dimensions. They killed my parents, so I was raised by wolves, so now I'm a druid with animal empathy. So that's 4 dimensions, another one depending who they are. If you're writing Jane and the Lost City, you can limit that to like 2. I've got a stiff upper lip and my dress falls off all the time. Oh no, because that's all you need. Well, if you found this helpful, subscribe or give this video a like. That'll help it get in front of more GMs. And leave me a comment. What is your worst party mismatched character you ever had to deal with at the table? Leave me a rant, and then tell me what kind of game you think that character would have fit in. Unless it was just one of those players, you know.